Hello, teacher. It's nice to have you here for a little discussion about yoga and also about teacher training. So,
Namaste.
how is life over there? How is it?
Life is extremely good if we practice yoga. Every day we have a power to manage the daily stresses, and normally, you won't have a stress because you learn how to accept them.
So it's lucky we practice this yoga. But listen, teacher, for those of you that do not know you already, that didn't work with you already, can you give me a short introduction about yourself?
Yes, my name is Mukesh Kothari, and I come from a town. I'm born in a town which is called the home of yoga. The town is called Rishikesh. It is in the North India. The town become extremely famous in last 20 to 25 years, especially those practice yoga. They go there for a pilgrimage for the spiritual awakening, meditation, yoga, and the science of Ayurveda. So I'm teaching yoga since 2003. So it's almost 18 years, and last 12 to 13 years on and off, I'm teaching in Central Europe or in the west part of the Europe.
What I can say is that I also did a teacher training course with you, and I really love this course. That's why ever since we opened our studio, we insisted so much to have this course here physically in the studio. So finally we have this chance, and we are so happy about this. But can you tell me, what is the purpose of doing yoga teacher training?
Now you see, there can be two purposes. One, like for example, when you came to me in 2015, you were already teaching in a field of fitness and also doing some yoga. But the thing is that maybe you were teaching yoga and you want to share the passion what you have, but you don't know the very well structured how it can be taught. What is the history of yoga? What is the background in yoga? How does it affect us? And the most of the people who have a passion to share the science, they need to go through a kind of a very structured program where they are going to learn step by step the fundamentals of this yoga, and they will learn how to build a very kind of effective yoga sessions. So one of the main purpose is that the people who wants to teach, so they want to make it to completely structured. Normally we are going to take the fragments of the concepts. So in this course, or normally in any of the yoga teachers training, we try to structure the course. Second most important benefit of doing the intensive courses is that so many people, they love to practice the yoga, and they want to dive deep into the concepts of the yoga. They want basically to understand, why do we do these postures, why do we breathe, and why do we have to meditate. So the thing is that yoga gives a deep understanding of the practice, and also it will help them to understand themselves. So it is not so compulsory that you have to become a teacher after doing a kind of a yoga teachers training. You can call it a yoga teachers training because it is built in a very intensive way. Or those people who don't want to become a yoga teacher, they can also call it like a kind of an intensive yoga work for themselves.
What I can say from experience, like I said already, is that I really enjoyed my teacher training. But can you share with me and with the others, what is your secret secret recipe, your secret sauce? What makes Bindusar a unique school of yoga?
Now the thing is that when I learned the yoga in the school, so we learned for quite a long years, and we have to grasp the concept and to experiment via the practice. So therefore, the thing is that when I came to the West, I saw that mainly so many teachers basically teaches there's a yoga, but mostly the thing is that they cannot connect the dots. So basically, in the system, what we apply in the kind of the Bindusar yoga courses, we basically build a system where we try to build the step-by-step learning, and plus we are going to bring the sister sciences of the yoga so that they can basically understand what is a total picture of this yoga. So in the courses, what we do, it is not just about the practice or learning 2 or 3 sequences. It is about to build the sequences by yourself, by basically learning the muscles, bones, and the human psychology, along with the kind of the yoga physiology and the science and the fundamentals of the science of these all other Indian sciences.
Okay, so this teacher training, does it contain only Hatha yoga practice or Vinyasa methods?
Now, the thing is that first we have to understand that normally whatever we practice nowadays, that the base roots out from the system of the Hatha Yoga. So the 15th century or from the 12th century book, the system of the yoga, what we practice now, that is inspired from the 12th century. Now, normally the common people think the meaning of the Hatha Yoga practice means you go to a class and you do the postures very slowly, you take a rest, then you do a posture, then you take a rest. That is also a method. But if you skip the rest and you do the postures just back to back while applying the synchronization of the breath and the body, it is normally called this vinyasa. So basically the Hatha Yoga practice and the vinyasa are the two sides of the same coin. So in this course, the first part, we basically take in a kind of a practice where the practice is much more like a static way. And then very slowly, we try to build a pace. So finally, the teachers have the choices. After, according to the need of the student, they want to teach in a system, what is so-called as a kind of the Hatha Yoga or a fast-paced styles.
Can I be able to teach confidently after doing this teacher training course? Like if I'm a beginner instructor and I have this passion for yoga, then I want to take this path. Right after the course, I can be confident to teach?
Yeah, the thing is that in yoga, teaching don't exist. What exists your personal experience, and basically you are going to share it. Now, the thing is that what is a belief behind your personal experience? If you have a very strong belief that what you learned is good, what you learned is authentic, and it cannot be contested, you are confidently going to teach. So the teaching methodology in the science of yoga is not something like in the schools or like when you want to become a school teacher. Here you need to first have a first-hand experience, and the first-hand experience is always a kind of a powerful tool where you don't have a kind of a self-doubt. So teaching yoga means removing the self-doubt, and I think you can teach very confidently. Most of the students so far have taught very confidently, for example, like you and so many others.
Okay, but how about the postures, poses, and alignments, and all this technical stuff? How is this aspect handled within the course?
Yeah, the thing is that if you see like 10 to 15 years ago, when somebody want to become a yoga, when somebody want to become a kind of a yoga teacher or want to share the passion, they don't have a basic structural learning at the time. And normally they used to adjust the people by just watching their teachers, how they normally adjust. So if they see somebody is pushing the back, they also get a basic idea, we have to push the back. But normally thing is that the back or the kind of the spine structure is different in the people. So what we emphasize in this course, we want to emphasize a deep learning on the muscles, bones, ligaments, and the tendons. First, we are going to study the body in a kind of the physiological and a kind of the very well the muscular way. Once you understand the muscles, then the muscular alignments are easy, because you know at the time that which muscle is basically contracting and which is basically lengthening. So that's why the alignment requires a deep understanding of the student's body, and plus the faith that when you touch the student, you are going to do a good job.
This is one thing that I really loved when I was in the teacher training course myself, is that I learned all these adjustments, and when I learned them, that most of them you applied on me, that, for example. So I really felt the pose in a deeper and different way. So the adjustments of the instructor can really change the perception of the pose when somebody is practicing. And I really love this aspect of adjustment, and it's something that I really use in when I teach offline, because now lately we've been teaching online also. But when I teach offline, the adjustments is a very important part of the class.
Yes, and you know that I want to put one more point. Why do we do adjustment? Well, it's a very common question. Why do we have to adjust? Because there is also one of the way. If the student keep on practicing, most students are going to improve over the time. The thing is that why do we normally align the body and adjust the body? Because it let the breath to move much more smooth and much more easy way. So that in each and every posture, there is a one line or two lines of alignment. By basically doing it, we basically move this prana and the breath much more smooth inside the body. That's why you have a kind of a different feeling when the body is adjusted well.
Nice. But how about, okay, I take the course. What is after this course? Is there any continuous education, any courses after, or what is the, let's say, the continuous development of the instructor?
Yeah, basically for example, we have done like once you have finished this course, and we have an expanded course after this. So the thing is that nowadays we are basically running a kind of Ayurveda course for the yoga teachers of 60 hours. It is meant for those teachers who have done a foundation course and they felt that they want to learn more the system of this healing. Then we have a course on the kind of the Vinyasa Karma and the Ashtanga series 1 and 2. So those teachers who basically like more of the physical part of the yoga, they can go to these kind of the courses. So basically we have a roadmap for the teachers who wish to teach more and who want to basically to make themselves much more rich with the content. They can continue the journey.
You mentioned something about Ayurveda. Can you explain a little bit about what is Ayurveda and how Ayurveda is related to yoga?
Now the thing is that normally when somebody speaks on the yoga and Ayurveda, normally they only concentrate their concepts only on this Vata, Pitta, and the Kapha. And they says if you have a body like the Vata type, Pitta type, and Kapha type, so normally this is only a concentrated, a very small section what the people talk. But the thing is that the course what we have launched now in this section of the Ayurveda, we try to understand the Patanjali, the main book of this yoga, and his psychology. Like for example, Patanjali says that yoga is a control of mind. Now the mind is not a very simple unit. You have to dive deep into the mind. So the mind is something like a kind of a wheel, is a kind of a tire, which is going to run by the 4 spokes. You know that it is supported by the spokes. Like when you basically ride this bicycle, it has multiple spokes. So suppose this tire has 4 spokes. One is called chitta. Chitta means where is this memory is located in the body. So the thing is that most of the time what we act in the daily life, it is on the base of the memory and the impressions we have. Now, how to relate with the science of Ayurveda? If you see the Kapha people, if you see the people who are built with the Kapha type or the people who have a combined personality of the Vata Kapha, they are much more stronger to retain this memory and they want to act through this Chitta concept of the mind. Then for example, this second spoke, he says ego, this ahamkara. Now, when you are a Pitta type of a person, or suppose you are a Pitta Kapha, so you are going to take the first step through this kind of the egoistic mind. So therefore, to understand the Patanjali is impossible if you don't understand the things what basically manages the body, which is a Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and the 4 more combinations of this. So basically, in the much more advanced courses, we basically try to explore that how do this body become sick, whether the mind has an effect on the body or whether the body has the effect on the mind. Yoga believes the mind affects the body. Ayurveda believes it is on this both way. So therefore, we try to explore the Patanjali in depth, and it's a quite good course because you are going to see a different perspective on the science of yoga.
So basically, can I say that Ayurveda is like a sister science of yoga?
You see that I would rather say that Ayurveda and the science of the yoga is written by the same man, because if you see in the India, in the history of the yoga, they believe that the guy who wrote the Patanjali has wrote also the book of Charak Samhita. So basically Charak and the Patanjali might be the same guy. So the thing is that some people want to understand the life through the mind, so they go through the system of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Some people want to understand the life through the physical body, so they go basically through the science of Ayurveda.
What would your advice be or a recommendation, let's say, for a student that comes, is like a brand new, fresh in the beginning of the career, and somebody wants to take this teacher training course? What is your recommendation for this person?
Now the thing is that I think that you want to say that if somebody is basically already teacher and has done some kind of a course, I think this course is also mainly for them, because the thing is that maybe they have done a course only on a small section of this yoga. So this 200 hours is a quite wide course. So it is also open for the people who are already in the beginning of the teaching career and they want to explore the yoga into a different part.
Hey teacher, thank you very much for all these answers and clarifications. And if I come up with some more questions from myself or from those that are watching us and they have their own questions, then be sure that I will write you or email you or whichever way I will send you these questions so we can get your answers.
Surely. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure and see you soon.